Hello, everyone. My name is Ananchenko. I'm the CEO and the co-founder at Stellar. Today, I'm joined by Ekaterina Ovodova, head of e-commerce and AI innovation at Bullion Shark. Bullion Shark is the US D2C brand business in a pretty fascinating category, rare and collectible items, coins and currency, from modern American coins to pieces going all the way back to ancient Greece and Rome. Ekaterina, over time, has helped to take the business from some pretty dramatic through some pretty dramatic growth, including turn SEO into a six-figure revenue brand per month. Today, we are going to talk about how that growth was built, why retention is becoming more important than acquisition, and what AI-driven search is changing for mid-sized businesses and e-commerce brands right now. Ekaterina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, as always, I do prefer to start with some introductions. If I was to ask you to describe Bullion Shark in one sentence or two sentences right now, how would you do that?
Bullion Shark is a D2C brand built around collectible coins, currency, and numismatic items. And we are a one-stop for collectors that are looking to add more coins to their collection.
Cool. Awesome. Let's get back to your role then. When you first joined Bullion Shark, what did the e-commerce operation look like, and what were you originally brought in to fix or grow?
Yes, when I joined almost 3 years ago now, time flies, the operation was pretty simple. Well, not as that it's more complex now, but it was always D2C. And hold on, this
Yeah.
will cut. What exactly do you mean? How it was set up?
Like originally, I'm assuming that you were not responsible for everything in the e-commerce. Like your role almost combines CMO, CRO, e-commerce leader, AI innovation, everything. So, like if we were to look over everything in your experience, and I mean 3 years is a lot of time. Like, how did the scope expand, and what were your initial zone? What was your initial zone of responsibility, and what it is right now, and how did it turn into that?
I see. Okay. Well, as soon as I joined, I jumped right in. And you know how a lot of e-commerce leaders and people that are hired on a higher position, they usually start working with, strategy only. And, a lot of times they underestimate the power of foundational optimization. So when I started from bottom up, just going over every single channel and obsessing over it. So the role may not needed that, but I needed it. So the role kind of started at 1,000% right away.
Oh, okay.
That's why I wanted to make sure that I understand the question correctly. Every channel that we have now, almost every, we had back then as well. They always had their blogs, they worked on their SEO, they had ads. Something new that we added quite recently, the last year, is AI innovations. I mean, there's no way not to add, everybody's doing it. It was forced and naturally forced. And then another one would be direct mail. That's also a new directory for us. And we tested some marketplaces in between as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, as always, there are always new channels, there are always new approaches. And was there a moment? I mean, obviously, starting at 1,000%, like from the outset with your role is a lot, and I'm assuming that it was like a round the clock kind of like job. Was there a
Yeah.
moment when you realized you needed to stop personally owning every that single channel and start building systems and teams around them?
Yeah, I'm very competitive and I really need everything to be fixed to the T first. So I was sitting down with every team member right from the start and seeing, how their process look like. What do they do? So that's after the foundational setup. So first was foundational testing and making sure that everything works. Then after everything works, I will be sitting down with a person responsible or people, that are working with this channel and seeing if they are testing enough, what's the thought process behind, their work in general. And another thing that I like to do is to see what people potentially may be really passionate about. And there are some internal changes that, making sure that everybody is on their place and doing something that they can actually bring more, returns to company and be happier at the same time, so to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, do you feel like it's a finished process right now, 3 years after that you managed to build teams around every single channel process?
It's never finished process. Especially
Oh,
now, there's always, with especially choosing working with software or, a developer team, something will always break. You will need to fix it, or some market conditions will require another approach. So in between those, as well as people, how they behave, what do they watch, the TV ads going back and stuff like that. It's never ending process.
yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So, as you know, this podcast is meant for the community, and the community is around e-commerce, and then selling history as the e-commerce product at Bullion Shark, I'm assuming, is a very difficult process. So, if you don't mind, let's just do a deep dive into the business, into all of these processes and challenges you have faced and you are facing right now, and kind of like try to understand what your take and what your vision on them is. So you're selling to collectors, investors, history enthusiasts, and gift buyers. How different are those customers in terms of what actually makes them convert?
Okay, that's a great question. First of all, a disclaimer, we do not position ourselves as an investment platform, very important to say, but
Okay.
as numismatic items, they do appreciate. So there's a lot of data, there are a lot of indexes that show that. It's just, in between the commodities and, the spot pricing and also being a collectible items, it's a little bit tricky. So we try to stay away from it. But interesting, what we've noticed is that a lot of clients of ours, they're older, right? Especially if the coin is more expensive, and some coins can be $250,000. But every collector that I've met in coin collecting shows and similar events, they all started their hobby when they were first grade. So they always wanted to learn more about coins, or they were reading about it and collecting. So there's always this, childhood hobby that unites everybody. But there are also people that want to hedge against inflation, or there's some tax benefits and stuff, but mostly they're always collectors, and there's something that is emotional for them. But it's on the other side, there's so many coins, and which is insane is that a mintage, which stands for how many coins being produced a certain year, can reach hundreds of millions. But some coins throughout the history could have been melted back into like gold bricks, or some of them had some errors in production, and it will have a slight error as one of the letters may have like a little different font or had an extra arrow there. And these coins are extremely valuable, and their pricing goes up insane. Even like one of the most popular items also are pennies, because a lot of them have the errors, and a lot of people love searching their pocket change to see if they become a millionaire today. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, but with every coin that stands true, that this little error that was made, or some other event, historical event, that drove this price up. And people who buy, they are very nerdy. and they love to read about coins and find these. So that's one of the hardest tasks for us, is to make sure that we have covered every possible coin that people may be looking for, because possibilities are endless, and these people also have very low tolerance for mistake in a description, and because it really matters, a word, a letter, an extra character on a coin. So that's, especially in times of AI, needs really to be very accurate.
Cool. And like talking about this emotion and history that any coin may have, how do you translate that into the e-commerce experience?
Um, how do we translate it? Well, part of it is telling the story of a coin itself. Because if you think about it, let's say ancient Greece, right? And coins that have not been produced during our era at all. They can be 800 years old, very, very old historical artifacts. And even for people who are not into coins, can be moved emotionally, because we have a gladiator coins. So building the story around it really helps.
Yeah, for sure. And is there any like, I don't know, process or the mindset that you take into consideration where you have to make a decision about which products deserve some additional marketing investment, especially given that you have thousands of SKUs and changing availability and very different levels of scarcity, etc.
Yeah, well, trying to use similar trend, like search keywords and like what people are looking for. So that would be one. Then some, maybe movies will be coming out, so they're like a little wider audience. Yeah, like our own insights and the general market insights. There are some categories of that we can expand on, and we know that people love. Yeah, so probably that will be part of the process. Obviously, chatting with AI helps.
I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, always in every process, but mostly we're looking at our own data and see, what's the low-hanging fruit for us, like where people, already looking, and why they haven't bought yet. What do we need to add to description? So it's really the story, and telling them that this is, not telling them, explaining more like what this coin really is. It's crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, if we are speaking about the marketing, like events, as far as I know, that will be the America's 25th
Yeah,
anniversary,
250th, yes.
250th anniversary. Events like that, do they really create a predictable new demand cycle, or does this category remain difficult to forecast?
That was a pleasant surprise. Yes. So we kind of predictable in a way of that we did expect people to celebrate more and buy coins to commemorate the event. But it was a pleasant surprise for us that it exceeded all of the expectations. So yeah, this type of events always help, and we always try to source the items for specific events, which never easy. Or we also need to be really aware of the events, because not everything you can sell, where's the licensing and stuff like that.
Okay, sounds good. And in terms of those channels, like getting back to the beginning of our conversation, so obviously, like it's good to have a lot of channels, it's good to explore, but then there are some fundamentals, right? So one of the biggest wins that you historically have had, as far as I know, is that you managed to fix fundamentals rather than chasing new channels. What were some of those fundamentals that you think any e-commerce have to be careful about while fixing them?
Yeah, so one of the very important changes for me was optimizing existing software platforms that we use. So that's, where the e-commerce part comes from. It's very exciting to use this or that app and see if that can help e-commerce, but sometimes they really take away more than they give. For example, so many pop-ups, or what's the payment processor you use and stuff like that. So that was one of the first things that I did. See, if paying for certain application really brings any revenue, or substituting some software with a better choice, a cheaper choice, as well as testing the access of the items, the upsells and all, so it's not always jumping on the customer. So cleaning up this part already helped a lot. And then I went to different channels and optimized, let's say, Google Ads, right? Seeing what we're using, where the return on ad spend, and so on. So how do we make Google not to take all of our money, but also bring us returns?
Okay, sounds good. And how do you tell the difference between the marketing problem and an underlying data technology and customer experience problem?
Can you reword this question?
Yeah, so essentially, like, obviously, when we're talking about fundamentals and channels, etc. So sometimes it's about the channel itself. Like, the channel itself is not really worth it. It doesn't really matter what we do about it. But in fact, it's sometimes important to understand, okay, so what do we deal with? Is it about the channel and there is not enough marketing potential for what we do here? Or how, like, let's take a look at the raw data. Like, what are we dealing with? Is it maybe there is some bounce rate that is not really good enough? Maybe there is some CRO problem on the page. Maybe there is something else. And like, with all of these things in mind, what is your general setup with across all of the channels, or generally at the company, which you utilize to better understand, okay, so what decision do I make today, and how do I really make sure that there is nothing wrong about the channel? In fact, there is something wrong with the data.
Okay, may or may not understood the question correctly, but I will answer to my best ability. So great example here will be our social media. We have over 600,000 followers on Instagram, and almost 1 million followers on TikTok, and the same for Facebook. We're around 1 million as well. So the audience there is very different, and we see that it works. Our content, and at the moment we post the same content everywhere, that it does resonate, YouTube as well. So it does resonate with the audience, but why it's not converting, right? So here is, we have a great top of funnel, that's marketing, right? We bring all of these people, but in terms of the e-commerce, it's not all falling through. So in this sense, we do look at the data and we start with assessing audience. So Facebook tend to be a little older audience than it is on TikTok, right? So how do people in this age range usually shop? What type of content they consume? How they behave? What they need from us? So that's another step for us that we are trying to explore more. And just to see, what do we need to add? Do we need a DM keyword to link? What do these people buy? Out of 600,000 people, everybody buys something, so how can we speak to this audience? The same goes to every other channel. Let's say it's an email. Everybody knows it works, maybe less and less over years, but still, they open something and they just probably didn't see what they wanted. We have 6,000 SKUs. How do we predict what type of coin this person is looking to add to their collection next, you know? So what do we add? How does it work? So here it is. We always have interest. We have extremely high open rate and click rate as well. But how can we make it even better so they always buy something? Some people are insane. Some people shop several times a day. So they can shop in the morning, they shop back, and you know it's the hobby. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk a little bit more about your success. Even though you're dealing with some challenges around it right now, but in the past you managed to grow from 8,000 organic visitors to 360,000 organic visitors a month, which is something like 4,000% of an increase, right?
45x.
It's enormous. It is. It is. First of all, congratulations, and secondly, it's. I'm assuming there was a lot of work. So, how? What did you see in from that perspective that the others didn't?
So, as I was telling you earlier, I love to test and I like to go full in with every channel. So one of the channel that they had for a while. So the website existed for years before I even joined, but there were no revenue really coming from it, and traffic was okay. Like now we came down big time from the highs, but the traffic that they had never really brought any conversions. So I wanted to test different strategies and see which one will bring the revenue. I wasn't really looking for this huge influx in traffic, but I was obsessing over it. So it was from like 7 a.m. to midnight days. So, but this 45x growth was achieved in 6 months. So it's just crazy. It's just a lot of work, a lot of optimization, and also, you know, product placement with optimization as well. Shoot to the moon.
So what? Yeah, well, I mean, it's shoot to the moon. There is a lot of work, and then as far as I understood, and you once said it might be too important, but the revenue remained relatively resilient even when the traffic later fluctuated. Why do you think that happened?
Well, as I was saying, I was testing different strategies. So there are some pages that do have a higher conversion rate, right? And a lot of articles that I was also optimizing, I was linking to those pages. So, and basically the page filters out people that are not really interested in buying automatically. So let's say we had a page that alone had like 50,000 readers there a month, right? But almost right at the top, I was saying, you know, buy this. So, and it was pretty broad article. This is one of these, you know, pennies that people are looking for, is to see if they're have any value to them, and more people, very small percentage of these people really buy. So it doesn't matter if you have a smaller number of people or bigger, because the people that are actually interested to buy and search it, very limited. So it's just making sure that the funnel, the SEO funnel I was building, can sustain over time and do not influx our email subscriptions with people that are not interested to buy and mess up all our metrics. So even though the top funnel went down with AI zero clicks overviews, we still have the core audience that was falling through to the point of conversion, and it's sticked.
Gotcha. Okay. And now the environment looks very different. I mean, with AI being like an AI checkout and like AI overviews and everything. So it's really very different. What has changed most for you? Is it rankings themselves, or is it like zero click behavior, predictability, organic? revenue?
So the zero click really changed. We love seeing big numbers, and it hurt to see it fall, but all of the informational type of content is being constantly replaced with AI, and right now updates are running almost monthly. So that's it's predictable that they probably will go lower. That's the only thing that we can predict. And the focus needs to be shifted on more of a buying intent than for informational search. But that's one of the issues that we're facing. And the only way that I see we can get out of it is just build our authority to be shown in every single AI overview, as well as tackle more of a conversion first pages.
Obviously, I'm not trying to learn about the actual juice that makes you different from the others, but then in general, are there any like kind of like is there any advice that you can give to the other founders, Kate, that you think are valuable in terms of how to get in above the fold in the search results of any AI, whether it's Google AI overview or GPT or whatever that is?
Yeah. Well, everything is out in the internet. Everybody can read about it. It's hard to achieve, but it's all there. And number one, in my opinion, is building your authority as a brand.
Okay,
Be cited by AI.
gotcha. Okay. Psychology wise, I mean, obviously, after achieving a result like that, like 4,000% increase in revenue from the organic search, how difficult was it psychologically to accept the rules of the new rules of the channel that basically changed in a matter of few months, whatever that is?
Well, personally, for me, the ego was hurt, of course. I mean, I can bounce back from the hard work, and it is what it is. But ego did suffer. But what was hardest is to explain it to the founders more, because you see these numbers and it's wow, it's insane, like can we triple again, double again. So it was very important for me to make them understand that at the end of the day, money on the table is more important than this influx numbers, and this influx numbers actually hurt the data, but the communication between the departments and explanation probably was the toughest part of this. Now that I mean, we will be back, but temporarily. But
Temporarily, we have to work on the authority and brand awareness, I guess, right?
yeah,
And learn the
more
rules.
take it slow. Yeah.
Ta- Take it slow, learn the rules, apply changes individually, but still, like if you don't reshape, you're never gonna grow, right? So it's just like a change in the world,
Yeah.
as we call it in our industry. Let's talk a little bit about AI that actually works or doesn't. So your role, explicitly your title, basically says AI innovation. So which means that you work a lot with agents, automations. So my question is, where has AI already moved from an experiment for you into something that produces measurable business value?
Yeah. Well, agents and that part of the flow is very specific for us for the details of the coins, so that will take a little bit longer to build, so that's in test. But where it already is working is SEO flows, which helps tremendously. It helps searching for keywords and building the initial draft, which really helps. So it helps to see, where's the gap in content is, because it's very important to give more new content rather than, rewrites from what other people do. We need to add to Google to stay above, and that really helps. Obviously, it needs a lot of proofreading, adjusting, and making sure that everything is correct and sound like us, is on brand, but it's really helps saving time with initial research. So that's this type of flows alive.
So does it really optimize the time that it takes for you to post some articles, or is it really the cost that you manage to optimize with the AI being in place for this
Both.
SEO article?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time for me, and writers as well. And it also, what's important to say, it doesn't replace the writers. It just helps them get a better type of content faster and do not hit the writer's block. Because in our industry and in a lot of other industries, you don't want to read AI overview on somebody's website because it's over there already. You want to see something in depth. You want to see the story. You want to see statistics, and that's where it comes into play.
Sounds good. If we were to speak about the workflows that you've already worked on, which ones do you think have been surprisingly easy to automate, and which ones still need much more human judgment than people assume?
I would say everything needs human judgment. It's just the time that it takes to judge minimized. Yeah, I cannot just, put my hands up and just say AI is doing. No emails are sent without me proofreading them, nothing. So preset draft mode, great. But to just let it go and do it on its own, no, I prefer to be aware of what's happening.
Okay, sounds good. And that means that you have to build a system around AI and how the team basically utilizes AI, which means that there has to be no different roles, no different tools, no different prompts, no different processes around how the team utilizes AI. So, what is your kind of take on how this process has to be set up? Is it like one environment, one documentation, and then they are allowed to use AI, or is it like something else?
Well, we also like people to be proactive and doing their own research and always bring the ideas to the team, even though the process will set up, so this is how we do things, this is how we communicate between the departments. But then AI updates continuously, and if something comes up, and then, that will really help us tackle some day-to-day or bigger issues and people bring them to the table, then we all review and adjust. We're very agile.
Okay, sounds good. Cool. Thank you for your take on the AI, SEO AI, and automation wise AI. Let's touch on the retention real quick. So you once said that the metric that you're increasingly obsessed with is getting customers to the second or third purchase. What have you learned about what separates a one-time buyer from someone who becomes a collector?
If they most probably have been collectors before, they just didn't have enough trust to the brand, and we want to win this trust, and show how how customers are important for us with, the best customer service we can provide. And in every business, it's really hard to people to make a purchase in first place, but sometimes it can be emotional, but then the second time, they really need to see, what you have to offer, how do you communicate as a brand. And once you achieve this loyalty level, then people will stay way longer with you and shop more often and spend more, which is obviously becomes a very low cost of a additional purchase. So that's why it's very important to me.
Is the bigger opportunity increasing the percentage of customers who return or reducing the time between the purchases?
Both. Yeah, both.
Both. Okay, sounds good. Cool. So there was one conversation that you had with my colleague Bogdan, where the platform starts becoming part of the problem sometimes when it comes to digital growth and technological setup and support of your customer experience. So as far as I know, you once wanted to move from BigCommerce to Shopify, and it might have been on your radar for a while. What are the limitations you're feeling today that make you keep coming back to that idea?
Integrations. I think it's extremely important to the software we use, have the 360 type of integration. And why I'm thinking about Shopify, because every new software that is being built, first thing they do, they make sure that they have integration with Shopify. So they did a really great job on it. So integrations and easy connection. Yeah.
What what about what about CEO data integrity? Because obviously with 5,000 plus SKUs, you have to worry about a lot more than just integrations. What about the other things? Are what keeps you from that idea?
Keeps away from moving to Shopify.
Keep keeps away from moving to Shopify. Yeah.
Oh, I still want to do it. Doesn't keep me
Okay.
away. And that, that's okay. So the only one issue, I got the question. The only issue why we haven't done this yet is the number of SKUs, and making sure that the data that we have, is not lost. Then the security is all in place. We just recently did some updates on the website, and the team that was working on it, they did one thing, they broke another thing. So, and a lot of times they don't know they broke it. We don't know they broke it until we see what's broken. So. That's very important to make this transition as seamless as possible. And so, which also means reevaluating everything that we currently have, and maybe even streamline it more so the integration can be as easy as possible. I mean, the
Yeah.
migration.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. It makes sense. And in terms of your in general infrastructural setup, do you think that most of the brands these days own their in-house team, or do they prefer to do the outsource? And what's your take on it? Like, what's your thought process about it?
I think it really pays off to have a partner company in this sense, and kind of having support on demand for our size of companies. So we're mid-market, and also probably for small businesses, it makes a lot of sense. And enterprise level probably should have the in-house team for the most part. Yeah, because you don't really need, with the websites like Shopify, let's say, somebody in-house on that level. A lot of people can edit and drag and drop, but when something more technical comes around, it always have to good partner in mind that you can reach out to, and they can fix the issue in same day or the same week, but not be looking for somebody and not be able to sell for a while.
Does it mean that this is the biggest friction today between the commercial team saying we need this and actually getting it implemented? Like time to delivery or time to response or...
Yeah, that's why I was saying it will be cheaper for the company of a small and medium, lower to small, close to small businesses to have an IT partner that you don't have to pay for full time, but you know that this is the person that you work with that can help you resolve the issue fast.
Gotcha. Last question before I widen the length beyond Bullion Shark. So there was one little statement that really drew my attention. So you're aiming to double revenue this year. Which one or two levers have to work for that to happen?
Not the revenue, but revenue also will be nice. Profits. I'm really obsessing about the
Okay.
profit part of the things.
Okay.
But revenue as well. 360. Every single channel, incremental changes, measuring month over month, and making sure, keep what sticks, make a note, and keep testing other strategies that haven't worked yet.
Gotcha. Sounds good. And as I said, let's widen the length a little bit. So, what would you prioritize for the next 12 months for the brand and for yourself in the environment like this?
Yeah, great question. A lot of things to take into consideration. One of the most important prioritizations for me will be ability to predict. So predictive analytics, predictive marketing outcomes, product lines. So that's something I'm really curious about, and it's really hard to build in our space. So that will be the number one priority.
Gotcha. If we were to speak about the e-commerce leaders in general, including you, of course, what do you think they're spending way too much time on these days?
Calls.
Well, calls.
Yeah.
Don't say podcast. Don't say podcast, please.
No, that's good. That's authority. That's authority. So this is really good. I think too much time is spent on calls, and I love working with my team. Every time we are on a call with founders, it's so quick. It's never been longer than 15 minutes. And we get our agenda, we go over what worked, what didn't, and then everybody goes to work. So this is amazing. Well, I hear from my peers and people in like a little bit different industries as well. It can be hours of calls, hard to make a decision, and it just go in circles, and people keep forwarding stuff to each other. Yeah, so being very productive, that's helps.
Absolutely. And vice versa, on the opposite side of things, what are they still not taken seriously enough?
Who exactly? E-commerce leaders?
E-commerce leaders. Yeah.
How close AI is, because still a lot of people trying to deny it or just try to find the ways why they don't want to use it and say how against they are. But the truth is it's here to stay. So we just need to make sure we adapt and always stay human, always make sure that it's us and it's not just run by AI, but that's something that a lot of leaders do not really accept, and that will hurt them in the long run.
Cool. Okay, thank you so much for your time on the call. Really appreciate your insights. I really liked the overall thought process and the mindset that the fundamentals have to be there for the business to be able to grow, because as soon as the operations and fundamentals and everything is established in the right way and it is scalable, the channels will be. It'll be much easier for you to take on new channels. The other points about AI search, AI automations, how you have to be on top of anything that's happening with AI still. Like you should be aware of everything that the team does, retention rates, and overall idea about building authority in the era of AI is really what I liked about this conversation. For anyone who wants to check out Ekaterina or talk to her about the e-commerce growth in general, I'll leave the link to her LinkedIn down below, along with the link to bullionshark.com sharks.com website, and you guys can check it out. If you're a collector yourself, feel free to check them out and make a purchase. Ekaterina, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.